What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I want to talk about something that I think will further explain my position on the whole John Morant thing. Okay? And I'm surprised that I haven't seen, at least I haven't noticed anyone bring this up. And that is the Jayson Williams tragedy. It's hard to believe this is over 20 years ago. But Jayson Williams was nowhere near the star that John Morant is. But Jayson Williams, I remember him playing with Charles Barkley for several years with the 76ers. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe his best seasons came from I want to say maybe 96 to 99 or something like that. And that was with the New Jersey Nets. And I remember him being a physical, dominant, very dominant rebounder. You know what I'm saying? Dominant rebounder, dominant interior presence. Could score a little bit better than Dennis Rodman. Dennis was the best rebounder, but there were games when Jayson Williams would get the best of him. If my memory serves me correctly, in 97-98 season, his last full season in the NBA, I believe that was his last full season, he led the NBA in offensive rebounding. And he was second in rebounding to Dennis Rodman. And he was a better scorer, like I just said. Dennis might get you 16 rebounds a game, but he'd only get you 5 points. Jayson Williams would get you 13, 14 rebounds a game at that time, but he might get you 12, 13 points. And like I said, I remember that 98 team, they went to the playoffs and they played the Bulls in the first round. They were ultimately swept, but Jayson Williams was finally coming into his own. And then, I think it was 99. Now, I can't remember whether it was the 99 preseason before the shortened season or whether it was the preseason before the 99-2000 season. But I definitely remember being in 99. He fractured his leg in practice, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, he fractured his leg. I think it was during preseason. And he badly fractured his leg. I mean, fractured, I think it was in, 3 different places or something. And being a big man, that ended his career. And, ultimately, if you remember, you were old enough to remember when the NBA was on NBC, he was a color commentator. Funny. You know what I'm saying? He was a funny dude. I think he was there, it might have been 99-2000. It had to be that year. Or 2000, no, it might have been 2000, 2001. It was somewhere in that range. It was before they lost the contract. I know that. And he was a funny, jovial dude, good with one-liners. He was good in front of a camera. But a tragedy occurred in 2002 that forever altered his life and ultimately put him behind bars. One of the things that Jayson Williams, one of his passions was he loved guns. He was an avid gun owner, had many guns, but some of the things you would hear about Jayson Williams is that he could be somewhat reckless with guns. You know what I mean? He had a really good front personality, but behind that personality, he could be a little bit reckless. If my memory is correct, I think he also had an alcohol problem, which is something that some people rumored that John Morant has. Now I don't know what happened that particular day in 2002. I think it was February 2002. But his limo driver was accidentally shot by Jayson Williams. Okay? Now, Jayson Williams says that the gun misfired, but ballistics tests and tests on the weapon show that they didn't see how the gun would have misfired. Perhaps, you know what I'm saying, he was just in an intoxicated state. I don't know. I can't remember all the details anymore. I used to know all the details. I forgot. I don't think he intentionally tried to shoot the man, but he probably was reckless. And, well, actually he was reckless, and that happened. He killed somebody. The limo driver was shot in the chest, and he was killed instantly. And he tried to cover it up. They tried to lie. It didn't work. And he spent, I believe, several years behind bars. And I think that tragedy has a lot to do with why the NBA is a lot more strict when it comes to their gun policy. Now, from what I've read, you can own a gun, but you have to be really transparent with the NBA on that. Like, you have to give a definitive reason why you want the gun, why you need the gun. You have to show proof of registration as far as with your gun or guns. And of course, you have to be in certain situations. If you are showing the gun, it has to be an open carry state and all these different things. And even with that, I think you have to be a responsible gun owner. Okay? Like, alright, if a picture comes out with you holding your gun on your land or at a gun range, okay, that's not the same as waving a gun on camera, waving it around, when stupid shit can happen. We just saw what happened with Alec Baldwin. When people didn't take gun safety seriously, this young woman's life was taken away from her, and the director had to have life-saving surgery because of this incident, right? So, yeah, when all this stuff happens, man, I think back to Jayson Williams. And Jayson Williams had a couple of incidences, not as numerous as Ja Morant, but he had a couple of incidences that happened before that tragedy occurred. So I don't know, man. I know some people making it a Second Amendment issue, and it's not about that. Is there racism in this country? Absolutely, there's racism that goes on in this country. And there's people who are playing up this incident for views on social media and on television. But at the end of the day, that's not my primary concern right now. My primary concern is that I don't want to see... I know sometimes I say it, fuck him, forget about him, man, he's an idiot. That's frustration. At the end of the day, I don't want this dude to throw away his career and his life. And there's going to be some people like, well, is his life to throw away? What type of fucking person are you? But then, like, if it's his life to throw away, then it's these women life to throw away too then. But dudes on here always lecturing women about how to behave and how to act, and they need to do this and do that, and women need to shape up and stop acting a certain type of way. Well, stop trying to be a goddamn control freak. when it come to women, but with dudes acting like a goddamn idiot, you know what I'm saying? It's all about rights and privileges and shit. Fuck out of here, man.